vote for yourselves, vote for your families, vote for your futures.
Get out and vote. Get out and... Who's already voted?
Our core values are being tested in this election, but my faith in our future has never been stronger. I love our country, and I believe in the American people.
They say it's the single greatest movement, politically speaking, in the history of this country.
Broadcasting from Mustang News International headquarters on Cal Poly's campus, this is Election Night.
Hello and welcome to Mustang News special coverage of the 2016 general election. I'm Connor McCarthy.
And I'm Ayrton Ostly, coming to you live from the Mustang Newsroom. To help you understand the Electoral College a little bit more, here's Peter Gonzalez.
During election season, you'll often hear the term Electoral College said a lot. But what exactly is the Electoral College? The process dates back to our founding fathers and the Constitution. The total number of electors is 538, which is equal to the number of representatives in Congress. Number 538 is equal to the total number of representatives in Congress. Of those numbers, 400 are representatives, 100 are senators, and 3 are electors for the District of Columbia. Even if a candidate receives 50% or more of the popular vote, that does not guarantee them the White House. In order to secure the White House, both the Democrats and the Republicans are fighting to get 270 votes, or more than half of the 538 votes possible in the Electoral College. Both parties tend to focus on states like California, Florida, and Texas because of the big number of electoral votes that each state has. Some states are historically Republican or Democrat. However, there are some states that are known as swing states, like Ohio. It's in states like those that you will see candidates campaign more aggressively. We'll have to stay tuned till November to see which candidate is the first to reach 270.
Leah Pizzetti is at the county clerk's office in downtown San Luis Obispo with more from down there. How's it going, Leah?
Hello, once again, we are live at the San Luis Obispo County Clerk's Office. I want to show you exactly what happens to your ballot once it makes its way here. As you can see behind me, there is a table of people. People have been running in throughout the evening with these massive boxes filled with ballots. They check them in at that table, and then once they're checked in, they're brought through this hallway into this room over here, and this is where they're actually counted. This is where I've been a couple more times throughout the night. So you can see it's loud, it is very busy in here, and that is because the county workers are certainly being put to work counting these ballots. As I've shown you, they are sent through this machine one at a time, and these are being recorded on a card. That card, once the ballots are counted, is then brought to the other side of the room, all the way down here. Once again, you can see how many people are hard at work this election evening. So that card is taken out of the machine. It's then brought to this computer over here. The computer is then what takes the information. It's an automatic system. It gets put in, and that's where it lives. And so then the information is published as more information comes in, and that's how we get our results. So if you ever wondered what happens to your ballot once you send it in, that's where it goes. We'll get another update from you. It sounds like we should be getting a little bit more information on some local updates in the next half hour or so. We're hoping to get that to you before our show wraps up at 10 p.m. I will keep you updated. Once again, reporting live at the San Luis Obispo County Clerk's Office, Leah Pizzetti, back to you.
Thank you, Leah, for that report. Now, we were just receiving word that the Nevada polls have closed, and it seems that Hillary Clinton has won Nevada, bringing her total up to 215 electoral votes, still behind Donald Trump by 39 electoral votes in the current, as far as the current standings go.
Nevada was a key swing state for this election season, even though before Election Day today, 70% of the vote was actually in and was taken by mail. Trump won this election, the primary election in Nevada during his primary, and same with Clinton. So the race there was very, very close.
Now, it was one of those states, as we mentioned earlier, that is a swing state, but it was one of the ones where the early voting process was very, very popular, hence why it was almost easy to forecast what was going to happen before the election today. However, it was still too close to call for much of the night. And Nevada actually only has 30% of the votes. We're just receiving word, so this is a very preliminary key swing vote going to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and once again, Trump is ahead right now in the Electoral College. He is up at 254 electoral votes, just shy of that magic number of receiving 270. And right now, many, I think, believe that Clinton was going to be able to have that lead, but it looks like Trump is able to have a very, not almost cushion lead, but just a significant amount to almost kind of instill to people that there's still a chance and the race is not over.
Definitely. You see, as we showed you the map earlier, there was a lot of red states in there. A lot of them, as we said earlier, in the South, is also more in the Midwest, as we see right here. And some of those polls did close earlier than those on the West Coast. And a lot of those preliminary going into the election today showed more support for Trump. So it would lead one to believe that it could be more of his race to lose at this earlier point in the night. Now, once again, looking, there are still many states that are still up for grabs. As we mentioned earlier, Michigan and Wisconsin are still too close to call. Both of those are two states that could turn into swing states in this election. As we just mentioned earlier, Nevada shows that Hillary is currently leading in that state. However, we only have 30% of the vote.
We also would like to remind you that there were places to vote on campus. We'll show you a quick story on where those specific polling locations were at.
Shumash Auditorium, located in the University Union, will be home to one of San Luis Obispo's 13 polling locations this Tuesday. Lines will start on either side of the auditorium, with the polling booths being placed along the front of the stage. Shumash Auditorium is the primary polling place for freshmen and transfer students who live on campus. On-campus residents are not technically considered to live in the city of San Luis Obispo, and so those registered through SLO County will only be able to vote for state, federal, and county elections.
Because if somebody that is registered in San Luis Obispo, the city itself, comes on campus to vote, then they'll be getting another type of voting document, which is I'm not going to say the name because I'm going to butcher it, but it is a document so that they are only voting for presidential and county and state propositions. So they are not able to vote in the city election.
Off-campus residents must find the polling place closest to their address by checking the San Luis Obispo County Clerk Recorder website. Off-campus students registered in SLO County will be able to vote in state, federal, city, and county elections.
I'm here at the Government Center, one of the multiple locations in San Luis Obispo, that not only has a polling place for the election, but you can also drop off your mail-in ballot.
Voting begins Tuesday, November 8th at 7 a.m. and concludes at 8 p.m. Sinstoff, Mustang News.
And we are receiving word that Indiana has been given to Trump, and all those electoral votes are his now, raising his number up a little bit more. Just remember, he is very close to that 270 magic number to clinch being the next president of the United States. But with the polling today, my polling experience, I would have to say, was very interesting. I mean, it was my first time to ever vote in an election. The last election for the midterm election, I just missed it by one day. My birthday just fell one day short of the 2014 election. So I mean, today I was very excited to get out and finally vote for something I believe in and kind of hopefully see my voice.
Now, unlike you, Connor, I'm an old veteran of the voting process. This is actually my second presidential election that I'm able to vote in. I'm a little bit older than you, Connor. It's okay. I won't hold it against you. But I was able to vote in 2012. It was my first election that I could vote for the president. And it was interesting to see. I voted actually in the Chumash Auditorium Polling Center on Cal Poly's campus. And it was striking to me to see so many students involved in voting. And as we saw earlier in that package from Allison Stoff from Mustang News, we saw that Anthony Haddad really spearheaded a campaign. We also had him on earlier in the first hour of our show, kind of spearheaded a campaign to include more students and encourage more students to get out and vote. So in 2012, I saw a lot of that. Personally, in 2014, with the midterm elections, I didn't see quite so many, but it was one of those things. A lot of people want to attach themselves to the presidential elections because they're more popular. And then earlier today, I dropped by my vote by mail ballot in the county clerk's across the street from the county clerk's office, and it was interesting to see so many people out there. There were a couple people with under an easy up, having a little party going, encouraging people to stop and take part in the democracy of the United States of America. So we are just receiving word as well that Trump has received the electoral votes from Oklahoma. However, once again, those are one of the Midwest states that don't necessarily have quite as many electoral votes as those on the coast, but they still play a key role in getting Donald Trump to that 270 threshold he needs to become president-elect.
I'm here to ask you vote for yourselves, vote for your families, vote for your futures.
Get out and vote. Get out and... Who's already voted?
Our core values are being tested in this election, but my faith in our future has never been stronger. I love our country, and I believe in the American people.
They say it's the single greatest movement, politically speaking, in the history of this country.
Broadcasting from Mustang News International headquarters on Cal Poly's campus, this is Election Night.